Hello, everyone. It's Tammy with Aortic Hope. Before we start, I want to always remind you to like, share, and subscribe to our page so that you can find us and catch up with what's happening the last week, and also to share it with your friends, people that are looking for support.
Okay, hold on. Can I ask you to sit back just a bit? You're leaning all the way into the camera. Yeah, just
Am
a
I
bit.
okay?
Just a little bit. Yeah, there you go. And then scoot. We didn't do the scoot part at all. I need you to put that the other way. There, yeah. Now center yourself right there. There you go. And let's
Okay,
go. Take it away.
now we can see. Okay, so I'm sure everybody heard me say to please like, subscribe, and share to spread the information from our community. So we're going to start out with the mindset shift that moves you forward. So on Monday, we always do Medical Monday or Movement Monday. So this past Monday was a Movement Monday. And for the next 2 months, this is the beginning of a mini series that is about something you might not expect, and that is movement of the mind. And this is really important because before we get our bodies going, we have to get our minds in motion, and we all know that. What is mindset? A lot of people think of movement as something purely physical, walking, stretching, standing up more. And yes, those things are powerful, but true sustainable movement starts in your mindset. For many of us in the aortic community, the journey toward healing, strength, and lifestyle change isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. How many times have you heard that from your doctor? Marathons are won by the steady pace of perseverance, not quick fixes. We learned the hard way that you don't just bounce back after something like an aortic dissection or surgery. It takes intentional forward-thinking choices, one after another over time. That's where the blog series comes in. So what to expect in the next 2 months that will be helpful to your journey. Every Monday, we'll introduce a simple mindset phrase, a small thought with big impact. These are easy to remember, repeatable mantras that can help reframe your thinking and anchor your goals. And these are some things that you could actually put on your mirror in the morning on the little sticky notes. Forward is forward, one choice at a time. You don't have to go fast. I just have to go. Small moves matter. With each blog, the why behind the phrase, how it relates to both mental and physical health, a practical way to live it out in your week, a quick reflection question or journal prompt, and of course, encouragement rooted in the community. So today's thought, or on Monday's thought, was movement begins in the mind. Let this sink in. Before your feet ever move, your mind decides to rise. Maybe today's not a walking day. Maybe it's a thinking day. That's still movement. It's progress when you pause to reset. It's growth when you give yourself permission to start again. It's victory when you think, what small move can I make today? And I would say also here, some days you just have to take off to rest, and that's fine. That is doing something. So on social media, we're inviting you to interact. Every other Monday, we'll ask a thought-provoking question to start a conversation around the mindset of movement. Comment, encourage someone else, or just read and reflect. You don't have to do it alone. So this week's prompt was, what mindset keeps you moving forward when things feel stuck? So drop a GIF or a GIF. We had a conversation about this over the weekend, how to say that. Comment or quote that helps you shift your focus. So Joyce signed it, do not despise these small beginnings. What I will say about this post with movement begins in the mind is I truly believe that mindset has a huge play in how you progress in your journey of aortic disease. And I've really noticed at the age of 64, not just people in the aortic community, but my friends who say have had knee surgery or hip replacement surgery, or they've had a fall, or they've had some kind of illness. There seems to be two paths that people go down. They either have that mindset of, I'm going to be the best I'm going to be with what I'm dealing with, or I give up. This is my lot in life. I'm not going to be any better than this. I now need to use a cane. I'm not going to get any better. This is where I am. And it all has to do with mindset. And yes, you may use a cane the rest of your life, but what can you do? Can you still walk with that cane? You might not walk a mile. Can you walk out to your mailbox and back? But what I see with some of my friends is they're like, well, I can't go to the mailbox anymore, where they used to, walk a mile around their neighborhood. So really be very cognizant of your mindset. It plays a huge part in your recovery. Do we have anybody joining us today, Josh?
I'd like to say hi to Christina.
Hi, Christina.
She always follows us. I love her.
Yes, I always recognize her name and all the different things that I mail out and the different comments that I see. So thank you for being such a big part of the
Oh,
community, Christina.
she's one of those horseshoe people. She wins all kinds of things.
Yes, she does. Bingo. She's a big bingo winner. So, okay. Well, I hope we have some fun with that and watch that for that on Mondays. So we're moving on to topic Tuesday. And let's see, last week they had discussed a couple different types of approaches surgeons have to gain access to the chest. And this week, the topic Tuesday was a closer look at post-surgical pain and what to expect in terms of recovery and pain control after major surgeries. And where does the post-surgical pain come from? Not all pain is the same, and the human body uses different type of pain signals depending on what structure what structures are damaged and the type of damage that's been done. Because of this, post-surgical pain is often a mix of several different types of pain that might not be treated with a single medication. And I think that's hard for us to understand. We just know there's pain. And I know I kept expecting just like one pill was going to take care of the pain. And when it didn't, I thought my pain was not going to be controlled. Patients may experience pain that is sharp, stabbing, aching, throbbing, or burning. Describing how your pain feels to the best of your ability can give your doctors clues about how to best treat your pain after a major surgery. And this is where I say it's so important to write things down, because when you get in front of that doctor, whether it's a telehealth call or you're sitting in front of him, I feel like we forget so much of what we want to say. I mean, I know as a teacher that I worked with very young children who had seizures and things like that in the home. I went to their homes, and so often I would say to the families, don't try to describe it to the doctor, videotape it. And, so if you think you're having a panic attack, have somebody videotape what you're going through, and then you can talk to your primary doctor about it, or your cardiologist if they're willing to address those kinds of things. But be creative in how you record these episodes so that you can get the best medication or the best therapy from your doctors. So will there be much pain after surgery? Like most things in medicine, it's almost impossible to make a general statement about the amount of pain someone will be in after a major surgery. Post-surgical pain varies greatly based on a huge combination of variables like the surgery performed, the age of the patient, and their baseline pain tolerance. However, it is important to note that even the most aggressive but still safe pain control regimens after surgery do not completely eliminate the pain. Our goal is to make the pain as comfortable as possible, but some degree of pain after a major operation is unavoidable. So how do we treat pain, post-surgical pain? There are many ways to treat the post-surgical pain, as there are ways to skin a cat, but some of the most common and effective methods include multimodal pain therapy and rehabilitation. Multimodal therapy involves using 2 or more different types of pain medication at once instead of just one. This allows doctors to target several different types of pain at once and also decrease the dose needed for each individual pain medication. Proper nutrition, enough sleep, and physical rehabilitation are key to getting your body to heal as quickly as possible after surgery. I totally agree with the sleep thing. If I noticed if I wasn't getting enough sleep that I I wasn't healing well. Your body needs nutrients as building blocks in order to heal the damage from surgery, and good sleep allows your body to focus on healing. Physical rehab can help reduce pain levels and get you back to your normal level of function much faster after surgery, while also lessening your risk for complications that might keep you in the hospital for longer. I know after my first surgery, which is obviously it was an unplanned surgery, they told me I wasn't eligible for rehab, any kind of cardiac rehab, because it wasn't my heart. And so I just, within like 2 weeks of coming home, I was in that physical therapy office and ended up going 3 times a week for like 3 months. And I can't imagine where I would be if I hadn't gone to physical therapy. It's very important to listen to your doctors, physical therapists, and your own body when doing physical rehab. While some pain is to be expected and even encouraging sometimes, stop immediately and let your care team know if something feels very wrong or the pain is significantly worse than it usually is. And then they included an article from the Cleveland Clinic about the different kinds of medications. And then there was a something up here about the medications after surgery. My experience with after surgery pain, I don't remember a lot of pain. What I remember was taking the chest tubes out. That's pain I've never felt before. And the doctor, it was a house doctor that took them out, and she was not very nice to me and told me I needed psychological help for learning to deal with pain. But that's a story for another day. But when I came home, one of the things that happened is, in my life, I have a husband, a mother, a sister, and 2 daughters, not including their significant others. And all 5 of those people wanted to be in charge of my pain medicine because they couldn't stand to see me in pain. So they were all trying to take care of me, including administering the pain medication. And I finally, after a couple of days, figured out that I needed to just appoint one person to be in charge. And I appointed my sister, and she started a chart for herself so that when she wasn't there, somebody else, if they did give me pain medicine, could write it down. Because that first week, that was a total mess of whether I had pain medicine, who gave it to me, and I was out of it, so I didn't know. But I finally said, Gina's in charge of all my pain medicine, and that made a huge difference. The other thing that really helped with my pain, if there's anybody out there that's in a wait and watch kind of situation and your surgery is going to be planned, when I came home, the thing that hurt me the most, or was, I won't say it was pain, but the most uncomfortable and stopped me from sleeping, is when I did lay back straight. The first 2 nights I slept in a recliner, but when I laid back straight, just this pulling with my shoulders back hurt the incision. It was uncomfortable. So I just had 2 thin towels rolled up, and I put them under my shoulders, and I rolled my chest, and so my chest was rolled forward. And that helped a lot. So try to think outside of the box of what is causing your pain. And then is there something that you can do? I had my first kind of like panic attack, I guess, like maybe 3 weeks after my first surgery. And my sister was there, and I was trying to get dressed. And it was the first time I was like actually putting clothes on. And it just seemed so overwhelming that I was putting clothes on and I was going out of the house. And I didn't realize how scared I was to leave the house. My sister recognized it, but I started like hyperventilating, and something that I had never done in my life before. So just surround yourself with people that care about you and can read you well, and can help you get through it. And stay in touch with your doctors. It makes a huge difference. Any comments out there?
Very shy chat still. Thank you for sharing that.
And we're skipping to Feel Good Friday with Aortic Hope. Happy Friday, everyone. This was last week. Today is a positively perfect day to spread some joy. It's National Pet Photo Day. Whether you have a furry friend, a feathered companion, or a scaly buddy, this is the day to share their adorable pictures. And there were some great, adorable pictures. So I have a fun story to tell you about this. So this doesn't have anything to do with last Friday, but last Saturday, so all last week, I need to start from the beginning. All last week, Karen, our faithful leader, she had some people from around the country, some girls that we've all stayed in touch, come to her house here in Delaware. I live a couple miles from here, from her home here in Delaware at the beach. And they flew in from Alabama, Louisiana. I was there from Delaware, 2 people from Maryland. And we just spent the week together. But then Thursday we left and went to the Poconos. And we were in the Poconos, and Terry, who does so much for our community, she mostly is fundraising, but Terry Cook was with us. And everybody knows that Karen just got a puppy. And so Terry's been saying that she wanted a Bichon, and she wanted a white Bichon puppy, and she hasn't been able to find one. So we were getting ready to go in this antique mall to walk around, but we had to go through like a strip mall first, and the strip mall had a pet shop in it, and it said that there were puppies. So Karen pulled in, and we go in, and there's a Bichon, a puppy, teeny tiny little Bichon. I don't know if it was like 11 or 12 weeks old, and teeny tiny. It was a mix of Bichon and Poodle. And so this guy was like the puppies that he had in his pet shop. He was like a go-between with the breeder. And she fell in love with this puppy, and she's holding the puppy, playing with the puppy, and she calls her husband, FaceTimes her husband. She's like, "Can I get the puppy? Can I play with the puppy? Will you help me with the puppy if I bring the puppy home?" So that they negotiate a price, and they talk about it, and we ask all the questions: what size was the mother and father? Has the puppy had his shots? All those things. And Karen, so Terry's like, "I got to think about it. I got to think about it." Now we're 4 hours away from home. So we leave and we go to lunch, and we leave lunch and we go to PetSmart. We buy everything she needs for a new puppy that we can get the puppy home, the crate and all of that. And we go home with a puppy. And so she drove 4 hours with a puppy yesterday, and she named him Lollipop. Or it's a her, I'm sorry. She named her Lollipop. If you know anything about Terry, Terry absolutely loves Wizard of Oz. So we bounced around several names of Glenda, a couple different names. And then Sean said, "What about Lollipop from the Lollipop Guild?" And it was like, that's it. She's the Lollipop. And so she's being called Lolly, and she's absolutely adorable. And I hope that Terry posts a picture of her soon. So I don't know. It was a crazy, wild weekend, but that's what happened on our girls' trip. I don't know. I don't know many girls that come home with a puppy on a girls' trip.
I love this story. I love this story.
And of course, we were all encouraging her. She's never had a puppy as an adult, never had a dog as an adult. She has a son, a grown son that lives at home, and she had dogs as a child, but her and her husband have never had a dog in their family, and she just felt like it was time. So
Oh, this is even better.
yeah. So, but she's absolutely adorable. So Terry and I were sharing a room. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, Terry, this dog's not going to sleep all night Saturday night. We're going to like all be awake." And of course we kept him in a crate. So, cause she's crate training him. So there was a big sliding door closet. So she opened the door and put the dog in the crate in the closet. And I never heard the dog all night long. When I woke up the next morning, I said, "Did Lollipop wake up?" And she said that she got up once to go to the bathroom. And when she came back in, Lollipop was scratching. So she took her out. She took her outside and brought her back in, and she went back to sleep. So she's a really cute, very, very calm little dog. So I can't
Excellent.
wait to see her, because she's off a big ball of fluff right now. So I can't wait to see her after she's had her first little puppy clip. So that was our girls' weekend. Okay, Survivor Series. Survivor Series is a core to our to what we do, sharing stories, letting people know that they're not alone, letting people know that everybody's story is different, but we all have that common thread. And we also find that sharing the story just somehow propels people forward. It makes a huge difference. But we've also found that by survivors sharing their stories, it's starting to reach out to the medical world. So doctors are watching it. We have a lot of students that are watching, medical students that are watching our series and trying to understand and make sure that they are treating the whole person. And that's definitely one of our goals. If we could make a difference with an understanding of what it's like to go through the aortic disease, we really want to make a difference in that area. So if you have never shared your story, if you've never been on our Survivor Series, we would love for you to do that. We always say, be a shining star for someone else. Caregivers, I think caregivers will give also get a lot from this, but we also have caregivers that do their stories. And if you have done a story before, and you would like to update us on where you are now. I know myself, I've had 3 surgeries. So if you joined us right after you had your first surgery, or you entered into our community as a wait and watch person, we want to hear from you. People want to hear your story. It makes a huge difference. So you just have to fill out the form and Josh would be in touch with you. There's several different ways to share your story, but Josh can go through all that with you. Whatever makes you comfortable is how we want to do it. Okay, now let's go to share with us on Sunday. So we do share with us on a Sunday. So do you have an upcoming scheduled surgery for your aortic aneurysm? If so, share with us some of your questions. Surrounding that surgery. What are you wondering about? Having a scheduled surgery usually leads to a better outcome for so many reasons, and I can attest to that. I've had 1 emergent surgery and 2 planned. One of the reasons there's time to prepare, to educate yourself about the procedure and to create post-care ahead of time. So like the second 2 surgeries, I knew how to set up my home. I knew I really liked having a recliner in my bedroom. I had gotten rid of the recliner after my first surgery. And when I found out I was having neck surgery, I was like, okay, let's get a recliner in the bedroom because I knew I would be spending a lot of time there. I bought a weighted blanket because I knew that was very comforting to me for my next surgery. So planned surgeries are so much better for you and your family. And so there's a link below of post-surgical, pre and post-surgical suggestions. These are all practical things that people have shared with us over the years. If you read this list and you think you have something you could add to the list, please just send us an email at aortichope.org and we'll be happy to add that. So
get this. LG in the chat, welcome LG, asks,
welcome.
Do you ever have people share their experiences that haven't dissected but diagnosed? And I said, I like the idea. Send an email to info@aortichope.org.
Yes.
Presumably this would be a different playlist as it's not survivors. But it might be something like, welcome to the path or the first steps in this journey or something like that, right?
Yes. One of the most amazing things about Aortic Hope is it continues to evolve to meet the needs of the people we're meeting. And it's been we never expected Aortic Hope to be international. This all just started with Karen and 2 other people wanting to meet other people that were survivors and to understand their story. And now, I don't know, like we're 7 years in, I think we're 7 years in, and nobody would have ever believed that we have people in Tanzania, and I just mailed something to the Philippines today, United Kingdom. And I just talked to Karen about this, that we're growing so much, and it's not that we're just getting bigger, but who we serve is changing. So I love that idea. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. We'll have to cook something up.
Yes, stay in touch with us.
LG says, thank you. This is great. I have learned so much. We
Good.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so what's happening tonight? We have a week, week in review with me, but tonight at 6:30, we have Ask a Doctor. It'll be on both Facebook and YouTube. If you have never participated in the Ask a Doctor, this is how it works. So you can click on the link on Facebook from Aortic Hope, from the Aortic Hope Facebook page, not the private page, but the Aortic Hope page. And the doctor, you don't see him, but he's there. And we let you know when he's ready, because sometimes we say it starts at 6:30, but then he might be coming out of surgery or something. You type in any question you have, and then he answers in writing right back to you. The same thing on YouTube. Karen and Terry are usually there live taking your questions. However, if you have a question that you would like to ask anonymously, you can do that also. You just send it to our email or to our messenger, and then we will ask that question for you. There's no question that, what? Oh, my mother's making faces at me. I think my mother's, I'm in my office with the door closed that has glass in it. And I think she's trying to tell me something. She's making faces at me. Okay, I'm going to ignore her. So it's the same thing on YouTube, only Karen and a lot of times Terry will be there, and they will be typing your questions in also. No, that doesn't matter what question you have. It doesn't matter if the question's been, if you feel like this question might have been asked a million times, the question can be asked because it's from your perspective. So don't worry about if the question's been asked before. And we love any question, because these questions stay up for people to go back and look at. So please join us tonight with Ask a Doctor. And then there's also the Caregiver Connection.
We have a small adjustment there. The third Monday is the 21st. I have to update the events list.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so that will be the 21st, the Caregiver Connection. And to join the Caregiver, you just go in and fill out the form, and after that you'll get an email, and you'll be invited to join.
And you can find those forms now if you scroll up. They're above.
Yes,
they're above the
they're right there.
The monthly breakdown. Yep.
Yes, they're right there. And then Tuesday, tomorrow at 8 o'clock, we have one of our members, Ann Herbst. Is that right? Herbst.
I
Am I
think
saying the
her
name
name
right?
might be pronounced Herbst. I'm not sure.
But we've been doing an aortic athletes series, and she's going to share her information with you. And then Thursday this week is Therapeutic Thursday with John Quick. You can sign up to join that group. That's a really strong group that's been going on for a while now. And then on the 17th, at the same that night at 6 o'clock, we have our Aortic Kitchen with Chef Rob and his wife Mindy, and they're going to be doing salads this time. If you can't make that, those are always up on our YouTubes, and he usually shares the recipes on our different platforms we have. So that's what's happening this week. So please join us. You are what makes our community work. And I hope everybody's having a good week. Thank you to the people that joined us. I love it.
Right on. Congratulations, Tammy. You did it again, Tam Tam.
I did it again. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.